Fire. I have been in deep reflection and thinking about how to restructure everything that I'm doing to help elevate it to meet my needs because I am a Virgo at Moon and I can be very particular. And I think I finally found it. I've been like just experimenting and throwing things out there and seeing what works and what sticks. And and I'm finally at that place where I'm feeling like confident and passionate about my mission and and everything. So today we are going to be talking about breaking barriers. Um, wait, hold on. Let me get something together because like I can't see this. Okay, okay. I'm ready for real this time. So today we are going to be talking about breaking barriers, challenges, and neurodivergent talent inclusion. So, embark on a cosmic journey with the silent rebel as we navigate the Hollywood dance, confronting challenges that reverberates through an industry still discovering the genius of neurodivergent Black women in film. And first, I want to introduce you to the Chadwick Boseman um, effect. It's a term that I came up with when I was working on a production to provide more authentic representation for Black people with disabilities, and that really led me down the path of doing in-depth research and experimentation of the inaccessibility problem within Hollywood. So, unveiling the Chadwick Boseman effect. The Silent Rebel shares insights from 3 years of shocking. Wait, wait, rewind. Like, I can't talk. Let's do that again. So, unveiling the Chadwick Boseman effect. The Silent Rebel shares insights from 3 years of shaking up Hollywood before the actors and writers strike. And I just want to talk about a little thing about like the actors and writer strike because still to this day I still haven't really saw any disability representation or disabled actors, directors or crew members speaking out or voice being heard during that strike. And it's like kind of flabbergasting because the very things that the actors and writers was asking for better working conditions and environment are the very thing that people with disabilities has been advocating for from Hollywood. But Hollywood and the film industry continues to make the excuse that it would be too expensive to make the necessary accommodations for people with disability, while the film industry earn over $300 billion per year. So just let that sink in. Um, the cosmic tragedy of Chadwick Boseman untimely departure serves as a poignant reminder. An inclusive film industry could have rewritten his narrative, erasing the constant fear of unfulfilled dreams due to chronic illness. Because I strongly believe that if the film industry was more inclusive to individuals who are neurodivergent or have chronic illness, Chadwick Boseman would still be here. He wouldn't have had to live in constant fear of fulfilling his dreams before his illness took him out. And as like I had conversations with different people within the disability community, and we looking at his latest film, and we can tell that he was struggling. Um, that like we can see the pain that he was in, but all that was hearing from a lot of like non-disabled people and neurotypical people after it came out that Chadwick Boseman died from stage 4 colon cancer, and they said like, oh, I have no excuse now. And this go back to the idea of how people with disability are often seen as the Antichrist or this super heroic godlike figure. Like, like it's crazy. Like, and like people see non-disabled and neurotypical people see disabled and neurodivergent individuals as commodities, as something as they glorify, um like, oh, like you've been through, like how you make it and you have all these challenges, you have no limbs, or you in a wheelchair, or you can't see, or you can't hear, how are you still making it in this world? But the minute, like that's the sense of how non-disabled people glorify people with disability. But when it comes to the fact of people with disability just existing in an inaccessible society and advocating for our rights to live a comfortable and successful life and to get the accessibility needs that we need, then we often see as this antichrist figure labeled as difficult when we are just asking for basic human needs. And and I just feel like that still is a problem to this day, as like I'm going through my own situation regarding disability housing discrimination. And so yeah, that was a mouthful, but let's move on to shattering norms and Hollywood's awakening. So, shattering norms isn't just a battle, it's a cosmic rebellion, navigating Hollywood's uncharted waters. Neurodivergent individuals, especially Black women, face unseen struggles. Limited industry awareness amplifies these challenges. Obstruction, the ascendant, the accent of diverse voices. The Silent Rebels research becomes a rallying cry beckoning Hollywood to awaken to the geniusness within neurodivergent talents. And so within like my research, I also became of like aware of the struggles that non-disabled Black women have to go through to just to exist into Hollywood. And so, and that doesn't even account for all the struggles and the challenges that disabled Black women have to endure to even enter into Hollywood. And so now, and just like thinking about stories about Sophia Stewart, the original creator of The Matrix and the Terminator, who has been in a long going battle in the late 90s, early 2000s with the two twin brothers who created The Matrix and the production company that produced it. Because, like, at first they wanted to just offer her like a little bit of money for them ripping off of her creation. But she was like, nah, because she thought about like, y'all making franchise off of my idea and making sequence. And this, the Matrix and the Terminator, is now like a $1 billion series. And I would not just accept the bare minimum for you to just pay me enough to shut me up. And so she rejected, and she stood the test of time, and she won back the rights and the amount of money that she needed for her creation and for being robbed of her creative geniusness, which moved me to Monique. And we just thinking about when she first came out, um about the challenges and the discriminatory practices that she was receiving from Netflix. And of course, like, everybody came out and tried to denounce her, say that she's difficult, that she's going about it the wrong way. And yet we had other people like Dave Chappelle saying the exact same thing, but no one is shaming him for how he's going about it. But then we also have had like other black women actors and directors coming out as like Viola Davis, Tracy Ellis Ross, Taraji P. Henson, talking about the wage gap that black women face in Hollywood. But how they went about talking about that issues was more digestible for people, opposed to Monique, where like she was calling people out and she was over the BS, and she wasn't like putting on like a cookie cutter perception or a speech of it, but she was holding people accountable, and she was standing fully in her power. And I'm just appreciative for Monique. She was like a great example for me to see and witness, especially for me as like a neurodivergent black woman, of learning to take up space and be bold of who I am, and to stand in my power, and to not accept the bare minimum just because of how people perceive me, of my ability, of what I'm capable of, and to just allow people to rob me blindly of my creative geniusness, and and to think that I need to endure all these trials and tribulations just to make it into Hollywood. So, and that moved me into talking about the fundraising campaign that I've launched on Patreon that is geared towards paving the way for inclusion. So again, as the silent rebel charts a course towards a more inclusive future, a fundraiser campaign emerges. Your support propels the mission of developing the world's first neurodivergent focused social media production company. This campaign isn't just about funding, it's a call to it's a call to wait. Okay. Okay. It's a call to liberate Hollywood from outdated norms. So, this is the Cosmic Rebellion. The journey continues, and you're invited to join the Cosmic Rebellion. Hollywood's awakening is an ongoing saga, and your participation is more than support, it's liberation. Join the movement to liberate Hollywood and yourself by becoming a patron through by becoming a patron through our Patreon membership tiers, starting at just $5 per month experience the freedom of being part of the Health and Hope Restoration Supporters Patreon tier. And the next tier is the bronze tier, which is called the Supporter of Innovation. So for $20 per month, receive exclusive updates and behind the scene content, helping liberating the film industry to be more accepted to innovation from neurodivergent individuals. And so the next tier from there is the silver tier, which is called Advocate for Inclusivity. So at just $40 per month, gain access to our exclusive community forum where you can freely engage with our team, advocate for inclusivity in the film industry. Next, we have the gold tier, which is called Champion of Diverse Voices. So, with a pledge of $75 per month, you will be a part of a liberation with that include I'm all over the place. So basically this tier includes everything from all the other tiers except for the Health and Hope Restoration tier. And it also will include like a 30-minute monthly consultation with our team, and you will be a champion of diverse voices in filmmaking. And our last tier is the platinum tier, which is also called the visionary patron. So at $150 per month, you will be a part of liberating your vision by receiving all previous tier benefits and a prominent credit in our fellowship program. You're a visionary patron of the arts. So yeah, so join. So I provide all that information and you can choose which like tier. So there's 5 different price points, 5 different tiers to choose from to support the fundraising campaign. It's an experience of a liberation, a liberated movement. You will be a part of the cosmic rebellion. Your involvement transcends tears, is a declaration of freedom and a step towards a liberated, more inclusive Hollywood. And I guess like I'm like this is also like, even though like this is also like a movement to help the film industry to be more inclusive and accessible to individuals who are neurodivergent or have chronic illness. It is also a movement about disrupting Hollywood by creating the world's first ever neurodivergent focused social media production company. Like, even though I'm not a fan of his work, Tyler Perry, but I would say like I have the utmost respect for that man because when Hollywood rejected him and he felt like he wasn't getting the recognition that he deserved, he was like, okay, he went about his business and he created his own. And now like he created his own $1 billion empire based off of his vision of Medea, even though like I have my opinions about his films and it is what it is, but I can respect his journey and his pursuit and the statement that he has made in the film industry and representation of Black media of of how we can create our own and how we don't need to wait on others to give us a handout and 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 this is what this is all about. And I just go back to that story. Like, it has always been my dream to work in Hollywood. Again, I remember dancing in my mama kitchen and granny basement. And I remember a time me, my mom, and one of my sisters, we went to this, like, the travel thing. They was asking us about where we wanted to go, and for me it was like I wanted to go to Hollywood. Like, that was like my dreams. And for like a long time I was angry with my mother because I wanted to be like a child star. Like, I wish like she kind of had like nurtured my dream when like I was younger, but then like the car accident happened, and I'm kind of glad that I wasn't a part of Hollywood's back in the early 90s and early 2000s, especially with everything that have come out from the Me Too movement, from hearing stories from all these different child stars, from like Miley Cyrus, the Olsen twins, like the situation with Orlando Brown. Even Raven Simone came out and talk about like all she knew how to do was to perform, and and I'm kind of glad like I wasn't a part of that. And just knowing that my journey of being a 19-year traumatic brain injury and all the trials and tribulations that I had to go through with just gaining more brain function. Like, I would like, if I was in Hollywood then when I wanted to be from a young age, I would be so messed up with like just thinking about Mia Campbell. Like, she was so beautiful and talented, and then coming out with like her story on Iana Van Zen with her being on drugs and her battle with like mental health. And I think she came out and said she was bipolar, and how like she didn't get the necessary help and receive the necessary tools and resource that she needed. And to be honest, like, Hollywood is kind of like a mental asylum that put mental illness for sale. And just thinking about the situation with Christian Rock and Blueface and like all these other people who's who's in Hollywood right now, but making money for acting like a buffoon, for showing a ass, for being like, for just acting a fool and just being a clown for Hollywood. And it's just going on back to like the minstrel shows, like back in like the early 1900s, late 1800s, when they did blackface. Like, that's what I feel like those like reality TV like Christian Rocks is the modern day minstrel shows. And the same thing with Tyler Perry. And 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 this is what like is all about, for me, like creating my own and creating a more authentic representation for Black women, to help create like the human aspect of Black women. Because a lot of times they just see us as like a sex object or just the angry Black woman or just this, but we are so much more. And this is what I am doing with creating the first ever neurodivergent focused social media production company is to provide neurodivergent Black women with the privilege and the ability to have access to the full human experience and to dismantle all these stereotypes that Hollywood had to make of us to take away our power. This is what it is all about. And thank you for being on this journey with me and being a part of history. And yes, and peace out, beautiful souls. And remember to be kind and gentle to yourself. And yes, in that order.